All right, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. MVPs from the game on Saturday. And then Nasir Bowers on defense. You know, his best game as a Rocket. Big-time interception there. Some really good tight coverage in some tough situations. And, really a lot of guys in the secondary did a really good job with that. Obviously, Avery Smith's play at the end of the game there was exceptional, getting that football out. And he had a couple other really good ones too, but I thought Nasir had his best game as a Rocket. Offensively, blocking on the edge there, Anthony Torres, I think, did a really, really good job. Obviously, the long touchdown was a big momentum play and broke a little bit of a lull there for us. But, I think his best game blocking the edge and doing a good job against that bear front that Eastern plays. So he was like our guy on offense, and special teams, Emilio Duran, I thought was, the average of the punts was his best, in the open field. I think – continuing to be able to flip the field and, his growth as a player has been really fun to watch. And, there's a lot of other guys that had really exceptional games too, but those guys kind of stood out. Proud of our team for getting a win. Road wins in this conference are hard to come by. So many different things throughout the course of that football game. Emotional roller coaster, obviously, with, the situation happened in the game and then just the ebbs and flows of the game. So to get a win and to get out of there and, I'm really proud of our team for their effort to – they showed in the resilience that they had throughout the fourth quarter there. Turn our attention to Central. Got a couple of days here to kind of catch our breath and, get into an early jump of a plan for them. Obviously got a lot of respect for Coach McElwain and their team and, what they've, been able to do historically. I remember Central Michigan, and when I got to Toledo is, the very physical team, one that applied pressure to you in all three phases of the game. And in a lot of ways, they're still the same. Maybe not the quality of the team. There's not an Antonio Brown or, Dan Lefevre or that kind of caliber of consistency like they had back then. But, a lot of similarities in the sense that they do make you earn everything that you get, and they've got to have a good week of practice to get ready to go for them.
How much of a believer are you in, like, the carryover effect that for one unit or how a game can be? For instance, the offense had a great fourth quarter. Can that carry over into the Central game, or what's the –
Well, I hope so. I think anytime it's good, you want it to carry over. Anytime it's bad, you want to flush it and get rid of it and turn the page and go on to the next thing. So, I think there's some carryover at this point in the season in all three phases, from game to game. There's other things that are going to be totally brand new. So I think for us offensively, if you're directly speaking there, I think it's about trying to find some consistency in conversion downs and do a good job of protecting the quarterback in those situations, do a good job of executing at a high level and trying to, have the opportunity to move the sticks in critical situations, because if you're able to do that, more points are going to follow, in those scenarios. We've been much better down in the red area here as of late and, scoring touchdowns and rather than kicking field goals there. So got to continue, ascending that way. But I also think, third down, fourth down, those conversion down type scenarios there, we got to be better there.
Do you think, I don't know, people at football, you always talk about, like, building toward things or, one unit kind of building on things. The offense the first few quarters, obviously, wasn't great. And then all of a sudden, just kind of that pass to Torres, and then it was, like, off to the races. Sometimes just out of nowhere can something click even when a day is going forward.
Well, I think that you look at it one-sided in a lot of ways, because you want to have success for what your unit is trying to get accomplished. Defensively, another team, high-pressure team that, they're not – give them coaches a lot of credit too. They know we're playing without two starters on the offensive line, and they're going to pressure you, and they're going to put you in some compromisable situations. Some of those balls are not going to be completed. Others are going to hit for big plays, and I think that's kind of what you saw there in the second half of that game. I watched that Indianapolis Minnesota game last night in a very similar scenario. The Minnesota defense is a pressure team, and they're taking big swings, and, it's good until one breaks out, and it's going to break out for a big, big play. So it's still about, to me, execution. The more pressure you get, the more the heart rate goes up, the more important that becomes. And, when you get in those conversion scenarios or those situational football things, that's a big deal. 2-minute situation on defense, heart rate's up. Like, got to do a good job of getting the ball on the ground at the end of the game there. There's a lot of things that show up through the course of the football game where, pressure scenarios, you got to be at your best.
I think there was a lot of curiosity around Savon Clark when he got here, just with being in Georgia. How from game 1 to game 9 or 8, whatever Saturday was, just what have you kind of seen in him? He had his had, I think, 4 runs over 10 yards, 26-yard run in the game-winning drive was a big one.
Mhm.
Was,
Yeah, I think, a good north-south runner, and square shoulders, get your pads down, get tough extra yards. I think that energizes an offense, that energizes a team, that energizes, the entire day. No, I think probably early on, he had been out of football for a while, like trying to get him some traction to get him going and giving him more opportunities and him earning more opportunities. And for whatever reason, whether those are injuries or whether they're not, I mean, he's gotten more opportunities here, and he's done a really good job capitalizing on those moments. And he's doing a really good job in the kicking game, and that was going on way before it was, the success was happening carrying the ball. So I got a really strong appreciation for people that come into the program. It's really hard to do that with only 1 year of eligibility left and really buy into a bunch of people that you don't know, from a coaching staff to the guys in the locker room. And I think he's been a really good teammate, and he's done a good job just working really hard and gaining the respect of guys in the locker room. And I think that, is really the baseline of, how success can start to, show up for you, and the confidence can be built from those small wins. And, he had some really good runs on Saturday, and we're going to need him down the stretch to continue to do the same.
How big of a factor is it when someone comes in that's played for a program that's won at that level to, I don't know, if that's kind of contagious to everyone else, it's easier to buy in with that?
I don't think the players in the locker room care where you played at. I think they care how you handle your business and how you operate when you get here. You know what I mean? When you put a rocket on your shirt or on your shorts, they care about how you operate, within the rules and regulations and the expectations and the standards that are within our building. And some guys that don't play at great programs and they come in, this is foreign to them. How you operate on a day-to-day routine is foreign to how you operated at the place before, because you were able to have success and taste success, but your process may have been completely backwards. And I think the guys respect that, the Dallas Gants of the world, the Judge Culpepper's of the world that came from quality programs and didn't, wear a Ohio State shirt around here every day, wear a pair of Penn State shorts around all the time, and just wanted to buy in and be the best Rocket they could be. But they already had a foundation of what a good process to play winning football looked like. And, Savon's process is the same, and coming from a really good program, I think he had a really good baseline from that. And there's probably really strong lessons that he learned as a young player that he can even pass down to the young players here.
Jason, we've talked about this before. I just wanted to ask just kind of your thoughts on the evolution of the quarterback sneak in college football. Like, so many teams operate out of the shotgun now that they just never practiced under center. And Toledo's fan base is like 80% of the other fan bases. It's the question we get asked most, like, why do you guys not quarterback sneak? Like, why? I guess I'm just asking, why do you guys stay away from the quarterback sneak?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we don't play under center a lot, so I don't think that I always worry about a exchange that's missed or something like that would happen. It happened early in our career, quarterback sneak at one point in time where a quarterback got hurt, and it's kind of been something that's, man, oh man, I think there's a time and a place for it. I think there's, it's crossed my mind that we should be doing it, at times ourselves, but I also think too, there's scenarios where, to get 1 yard, we got a lot of other plays that gain 1 yard consistently. And, I think for our struggles in short yardage is, it's execution. It's not, it's a matter of doing my job at the right time at a high level. And some players that have not been in those scenarios before, specifically on the offensive front, sometimes some of those things are foreign, some of those looks are foreign to them. I got to do a better job of putting them in position to be successful that way. Maybe that is something that we look into and go down that path. But, regardless of what it is, trying to put them in a position where they can be successful and then they can execute at a high level, I think, so we can have the success that we want to have in those scenarios.
Is it easier said than done than just not practicing and say, hey, go up and get this yard? I mean, do you guys?
Well, I think it's in vogue right now because of what the Philadelphia Eagles have done, and that's a 3-year process of trying to, to do that, and it's not a foolproof plan even for them right now. So. Yeah, I mean, I think there's, like anything that you want to do and want to do at a high level, it takes a lot of commitment from a practice standpoint of things and, and consistency at center through the course of the year and consistency at quarterback and not as in play, but, who's actually out there and who's doing that and going through all that. There's other plays I think are really good plays at going under center that would help us too. But, who's in there from week to week at center and who's in there week to week at quarterback has been a little bit of a question mark here down the stretch too. So, yeah, I mean, I think all things are on the table to try to get that part of it fixed because I think we got to be better in those scenarios to work here down the line.
The extra days to prepare
Yeah, I mean, you think you get a couple days here, and I think to really hone in on us first and foremost to hopefully get some good players back and healthy. Some guys that are toughing through some really tough injuries that they're going through, but are out there every day practicing and playing. Hopefully they can feel better and have a little more confidence when they get on the practice field, and that just makes the whole week go a little bit smoother. But yeah, it's good to catch your breath at this time of the year. It's good to be able to see a primetime game where you can sit on your couch and watch a game rather than getting in here at 4 a.m. and going through the videotape that way. You already have a preview of what it is, and you're going to watch the videotape anyways, but you still get a little bit of a general sense of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it. So, yeah, it'll help us.